Welcome back, Know It Alls. Thanks for listening to the show. And as always, give us some feedback about what we are doing so we can make sure you're having a good time listening to us.
Here we go.
I've got an April on the other line. Well, this line, not the other line.
You have more than one line?
No, I wish more than one April. That'd be cool too.
Oh, I don't know what that would be like.
I don't know. I don't know
Hmm.
many Aprils. I think I know two, maybe three in my life. How about you?
I actually know quite a few. And oddly enough, I was best friends with a girl like when I lived in Osoyoos.
Yep.
And one night we had a bit of a party.
All right. All right. I like where this is going.
Her two sisters were there,
Oh, even better. All right.
and the party kind of dwindled out. So it
Hmm.
was just kind of left with the sisters and all their best friends. And we're sitting around the fire, just kind of chatting casually. And one of them looks around and says, there's a lot of Aprils here. And it was like sister, her best friend April, sister, her best friend April, sister, her best friend April. It was so bizarre. Like, are you guys collecting us? Should we be worried? Like, is there going to be a ritual or
Hmm.
what's going on? Like, it was just so random and such a weird coincidence.
I wonder what I would do if I collected Aprils. Would I have to feed them or probably, right? I have to take care of them.
I don't know if we should go down this
Yeah. Well, I'm
conversation.
thinking like that's gonna be really expensive. They probably can't sleep outside. I can't put them in a barn or a stable.
Like, are you thinking clones of me? Or are you
Well, I mean that.
thinking just random girls named April? Because you're kind of
Well, I
getting
mean,
into kind of a
I,
weird stalkery, like I like to collect women
well, I mean,
vibes.
I guess I know you, so having multiples of you would actually be pretty awesome. But I don't know the other Aprils, so I don't know if I'd be biting off more than I could chew by inviting them into my home and then having to deal with a fucking crackhead. I don't want to deal with a
She a
crackhead.
crackhead.
Well, I'm thinking of a worst case scenario, right? Like I've got best case scenario, I've got clones of you, and that's fine. But then I've got
Right, so the complete opposite.
yeah, but then what if I get
Gotcha.
bored, right? It's like, oh my God, they're all the fucking same. It's like being married. You're like, oh, fuck off. It's been 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, give me something new, right? And so I go out on the prowl to find a new April. And, she seems all right. Like, she seems great. She seems nice. She seems fun. I bring her back to my place and she's not a she, she's a he. And I'm like, fuck, this isn't like the other April at all. This is way more exciting. You
It's
can
an
stay in,
extra attachment.
you can stay in my room, right? No, I don't know. I think I'd probably, as a collector, I think I'd probably want different Aprils. The same one's kind of boring.
Yeah.
But like
It's like
multiples.
Barbie, having different Barbies. There's Midge and Raquel and whatever the other
I
ones.
I have to take your word for it. I've never collected Barbies, so I didn't know they had names like Midge. I assumed they were Malibu Barbie and
Like
Time
Skipper
Clock.
and
Well, that's her little sister. That's different. Okay, I know that. I'm not a moron. Wait, does Skipper does Skipper have a boyfriend like Barbie has Ken?
I don't think so.
What if Ken was also
I think
Skipper's
she's
boyfriend?
too young. No, well, that would be wrong. See, you
No,
keep crossing these lines, Clay.
I don't think there's if they're teaching kids how to be cross dressers at the age of like 7 in a school, why can't we teach them about like polygamy? I don't. Where do you draw the line?
Yeah,
Where do you draw the line?
I
It's
guess
a
it's just whatever the teacher's best interest is. That's what they're teaching.
oh, so it's not like a curriculum. It's that individual teacher's
Mm.
feeling.
I don't know if my kids have learned about being a transvestite or anything. I mean, they have just in general in life.
Well, I mean, my kids being around me, they've learned a lot of shit they probably shouldn't have learned ever, and probably shit they'll never learn at school.
That's
Like,
street
like,
smarts.
like the day. I mean, I don't know if I talked to you about this, but the day that I got a phone call while I was at work, I got a phone call on my cell phone from the school, and that's usually your kid's sick, right? Kind of thing. Come pick him up.
Mm.
Come pick them up. Not him in particular, but pick your child up. So I answer the phone. I was like, "Hello." They go, "Hey, is this Clayton?" I go, "It is." He goes, "This is a principal, whatever, whatever." And we've got your son here, and he's had a really good year, and it's a shame to end it on this note, but he said something in a derogatory remark way to another student. And I was like, okay, like he made fun of the student. Like he used a word that we don't use to make fun of them. And he said that he learned the word from you. And, my heart is racing, and I'm just like, he goes to a Catholic school, right? So
Oh,
I'm thinking
great.
like,
I'm such a bad influence.
yeah, I'm a
Like,
terrible
which
influence,
word? Which word could it
right?
possibly be? There's so many.
There's so many. So right away I was like, do you mind if I ask you what the word is so I know that we're all on the same page here? And
Just so I know which one to go
well,
with
yeah.
here.
Well, I had to give myself a couple moments of thought process how to defend myself after I learned what the word was,
Yeah.
right? And he's like, well, he used the word lesbian. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, no, that's great. He's like, that's great. I go, no, it's not great that he used it. No, I didn't teach him the word. He never learned that word from me. But yesterday, while we were driving his sister to gym, we're just in a conversation, his sister and I just talking, and he just blurts out from the back seat, "Dad, what's a lesbian?" And my daughter and I start laughing. I was like, "Buddy, like number one, don't use that word. Number two, where did you learn it?" And he's like, "A kid at school said it, but I don't know what it means." So then I explained to him what it meant, right? It's pretty adult to explain. I can't leave him not knowing what it is. So I had to explain it.
Mhm.
And then I told him not to use it. Like, don't use that word. Just don't say it. You know what it is. Don't say it. And then not even 24 hours later, he's using it to make fun of somebody at the school. And I'm
Wow.
hoping he said it to a guy because that would be ironically ridiculous. You're such a
Yeah.
lesbian. What?
Doesn't
But
even
yeah,
make sense.
so the principal is like, oh, so he didn't learn it from you, but you told him what it meant. I go, yeah, I told him what it meant so he would understand, but I also told him not to use it.
Education's power, right?
Right.
Knowledge is power.
So then over the phone, I heard him ask my kid, like, who taught it to you? And then my kid said the same name to the principal that he told me the day before. And I was like, do you mind if I let you go? I'm middle of work here. I think I've done everything I can do. Just let him know that he's going to be in trouble when he gets home because I told him not to say it and he said it, right? And he's like, "Yep, no, it's good to know that you weren't teaching these words." And okay, that's good. Yeah, now we know where it's coming from. We'll talk to the other student. Have a good day. And I was just like a Hail Mary. I was like, man, he could have used any word he's ever heard me say, but he didn't. He used a word another kid used, which made me feel pretty good. So I don't know why we're talking about lesbians or no, it's education. We're talking about education. That's right.
Yeah.
Which I think that's about all I need to say on that.
Or I can tie this all in together.
All right. All
Speaking
right.
of getting phone calls at work. So it was about a month ago. I got a phone call shortly after 9 o'clock in the morning. It's my ex-husband. And he always kind of like tries to let me know that bad news is coming, but still kind of keep me calm. So he's like, he's okay, but just want to let you know I'm at the hospital with our son. He had some chest pains and he's having some trouble breathing. Well, I don't even remember what happened after that. I just started packing my shit up and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm coming, I'm coming.
Yeah.
And
There's no
I
reason to be
bolted out of
calm.
work and yeah, I just felt panicked all of a sudden. I'm like, I'm sorry, I gotta go. So get to the hospital and my son is fine. Like he looks completely normal. He's a little bit pale, whatever. And we're trying to figure out what's going on with him. At first, I think, yeah.
I was just picturing you getting into the hospital room and you look over your ex-husband and you look at the hospital bed like, that's not my kid. Who the fuck is that? He's like, oh fuck, I called the wrong girl. Sorry.
Wrong wife or wrong ex.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was trying to find a humorous thing on your son's deathbed, and that was to me funny. So yeah, I'll let you continue.
And it's not my kid.
You bust in there and your kid's in the hospital bed.
Well, he's not even. We're sitting in the waiting room. So I'm thinking he's having a heart attack or something. Why aren't we in the emergency room? We're just sitting out in the waiting room. And we waited for a long time. They did multiple tests, took his blood, and finally, it was like hours later in the afternoon, they did a chest x-ray. And We're waiting for a bit and we're just kind of sitting in the emergency room in chairs right by the door. We're not even in a triage room or anything like that, or whatever it's called. And the doctor just comes rushing over to us and he says, your son has suffered from a spontaneous pneumothorax. And then he starts going on and on talking about it and whatever. And I'm like, wait,
Wait, what the
what
fuck's a
the fuck is
pneumothorax?
that? And he's like, oh, well, his lung collapsed. Holy shit. Well, what the heck? Because they were asking him things like, have you been roughhousing or playing any rough sports lately or anything like that? They thought maybe it was a pulled muscle. But here the whole time, his lungs spontaneously collapsed.
The fuck?
And apparently, it's something that's common with tall, thin, younger males. It happens quite regularly. So, with this spontaneous pneumothorax, there's like they're born with like little sacs or little bubbles of air at the kind of tops of their lungs, and those can burst open just randomly,
So not even
spontaneously.
overexertion or anything. Just hey, it's
No,
it's Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Guess what, fucker? Collapse.
yeah, it was like 9 o'clock in the morning. He was walking into school to, get ready for his day, and he just got this sharp pain in his chest. So anyway, this little bubble ruptures and it releases oxygen into his chest cavity and pushes the lung down. So they rushed us to a different hospital in a bigger city, bigger hospital, and they've kind of dealt with this kind of thing before. And my son did just awesome through the whole thing. He didn't have a lot of pain. Like they were saying, you should be in a lot of pain right now and have troubles breathing and whatnot. And he's like, no, I feel good. His oxygen levels were good. We ended up spending the night in the hospital and we had three choices. So we could put him on oxygen overnight, or they could put a needle in his chest and try to suck out kind of some of the air or whatever,
Yeah.
or they could do surgery and put in a chest tube to release all the air. Well, we decided, like, since he was pretty asymptomatic, he wasn't in a lot of pain, he had good oxygen levels, like he was being a little brat and bugging us and stuff. So we just had him on oxygen overnight. The next day they did another x-ray, and like half an hour later, they're like, oh, you guys can go home. He's healing just as expected. However, this can happen again at any time. There's nothing you can do or not do to prevent it. It's just something he's going to have to live with until he's an adult.
So it's like getting a boner. You just
Well, hopefully it's not as common as that.
wait, common. Go on. I'm like a once every 3 week guy. Is it not normal? Am I doing something wrong?
Maybe you're just not noticing them first thing in the morning.
It is pretty tiny. I think that's probably the
You
problem.
just thought your hair was standing up a little
Oh,
different that
oh,
day.
I don't have any hair down there. That's not something I believe in.
Right, right. You're
If
afraid of
I-
pubes.
yeah, they're terrible. When they're terrible in your mouth, they're terrible in pictures. They're terrible. They shouldn't exist. We're not cavemen. We don't need to stay warm by having lots of pubes. We don't.
Is that what they're for? I never really thought about pubes before and like their purpose and if you should have them or not.
Well, I mean, if you don't have them, your crabs have nowhere to live. So as long as you have pubes, you can have crabs. But if you don't have pubes,
Do you
where
just
the
always have crabs lingering
not,
around,
not
just
anymore
waiting for the pubes to grow?
because I don't have pubes. Yeah. The
Huh.
doctor's like, here, take this medication. I'm like, I don't need that. I just shave. I wax. The doctor's like, no, you need to do more. I'm like, hey, who's the doctor here? You or me? I don't even know what a chyroid thorax is or whatever the fuck that word is.
Get out of my office.
I'm gonna send you to a bigger hospital so you can learn more. Fine. And apparently crabs still can live on you without pubes, which I've learned by going to the bigger hospital and they taught me that. So hey, thumbs up
Wow.
for bigger hospitals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I apologize. I cut you off and you were You were taking your son home because he was fine.
Yeah, he's fine. His follow-up was fine. He's healing as normal. And I mean, they said if it happens on the same lung,
Yeah,
they will go in and give his lung a little haircut at the top to kind
like
of trim off those bubbles or sacs so that they don't burst in the future. So it's
a
like a little
haircut.
trim.
Yeah, like pube.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Circle back to the pubes.
So he's not going to get crabs in his lungs. It's so fucking perfect. It's science at its best.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my plug because it says low battery. So talk amongst yourself and
Well, this kind of got me very curious about other kind of weird or random medical marvels or whatever things. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Because there's nobody sitting across from me and it's completely black.
oh, I turned off the light by accident.
My brain just like, no, I'm not paying attention to what I'm supposed to be doing.
All right, I'm all plugged in. What did I miss? Let me guess. You were thinking about stuff, and
I was thinking about other medical conditions
other than
that
the collapsed thorax, who's the Lorax?
spontaneous pneumothorax.
Horton here's
Do you know how long it took me to remember what this was called?
Oh, I'm never gonna remember it. I've heard it like 4 times now, and I'm gonna be flat out honest with you. As soon as I hit like end on the podcast, I'm not gonna think about the
You'll
name.
forget.
I'll know the word thorax.
Yeah, it's close.
The crabless thorax. The trimmed pube thorax. That's what I'll call it.
Wow. Okay, I'll try to remember what that means.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Yeah, if you don't understand it, we'll just send you to a bigger hospital where they'll teach you better things.
They'll teach me about it.
So you have a
Yeah.
medical condition that you want to discuss, or you want to discuss the one that can happen to your kid whenever the fuck it decides to happen.
Yeah, just randomly, whenever, anytime in his life. But he knows how it feels. So we just
yeah.
get to the hospital and it's all good.
Well, hopefully it doesn't happen.
No, I was thinking I found some strange, odd medical conditions that aren't very common.
All right.
So this one is called auto brewery syndrome. Do you think you can guess?
I'm gonna repeat you. Auto brewery. So I'm assuming it has something to do with creation of beer.
Yeah.
So your body
Yeah.
creates beer in the yeasty parts of the body. And
Yes, it ferments carbohydrates into alcohol.
is that true?
Yeah, it's a real condition.
Oh my God. So I'm trying to be funny, but it's serious? That's terrible.
It is, it's an actual condition. So it's some kind of yeast that they have in their gut and it ferments carbohydrates into alcohol. So they get tipsy just eating different carbohydrates.
Oh, that'd be shitty when you're allergic to alcohol. Because there are people that are allergic to alcohol.
Oh yeah. Yeah, hey, you'd just probably die.
That would be fucked up. Can you imagine like you don't wake up and people don't know what the fuck happened? And they have no idea that the reason you died is because of your allergy to alcohol and
Yeah.
your body producing alcohol? Fucking
Right.
luck of the draw. There's no way God is sitting on a cloud thinking like, hey, check this out. Look what I did to this fucker. I made him allergic to alcohol. But hear me out. This is where it gets funny. I made his body produce alcohol. Fuck, I'm good. Like it's just
I gave him auto brewery syndrome.
that sounds terrible.
Wow. It does sound terrible. There are things that you can do though by switching your diet, low carbohydrate, high protein content. And there are antibiotics or antifungal medications that kill the yeast. So it
Well,
kind of minimizes it or
At least
whatever.
there's a maintenance or a cure of some sort.
There's help. There's
Right?
help. Yeah. Things you can do.
What else you got?
So another weird one is called Alice in Wonderland syndrome.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Can
try
I
to guess this one. Yeah.
where your brain can't readily perceive the things in front of it and it creates an alternate reality with everything it sees.
Kind of. It's more specific than that though. So what did Alice do?
Alice shrunk. Eat me.
Yeah.
Drink me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing? That's what she drank the thing and she ate the
Sorry,
little part.
my mind hit the gutter for a
Oh,
minute. I
sorry.
just
Yeah,
had
no.
to
Hey,
pull myself back out.
hey, we don't talk like that on this show, okay?
No gutter talk.
No, that's fucking disgusting. Why would you? You know what?
Gross.
Stop being such a lesbian. Oh shit.
Oh,
Sorry. Oh, maybe my kid did learn it from me. Fuck.
my eyes just went big there.
Nothing of mine ever gets big.
Alice in Wonderland syndrome does. So what it does is it makes objects appear smaller or larger than they actually are. So you perceive them as being bigger or smaller than they are.
And it's randomized. You don't get to decide if it's going to be bigger or smaller. It just, your brain just says, nope, smaller this time, bigger next time.
Yeah.
That's fucked
Yeah.
up.
It's like living in a little wonderland.
What did they call it
So
before
the
Lewis Carroll wrote Alice in Wonderland?
well, maybe that's when they actually started discovering it. Like people were like, hey, sometimes I feel like I'm shrinking or growing. Maybe the movie or the show or the story helped bring awareness to this disease.
Hmm. I guess we will never know unless we research it, which I'm assuming we didn't.
Yeah, I didn't do that much research
Okay,
on
we'll
it.
we'll we'll
So it's
research
often
that one.
associated with, yeah, it's often associated with migraines, epilepsy, and viral infections. So abnormal electrical activity in the brain and disturbances in visual perception can contribute to the distorted size.
Hmm.
And it's most common among children, often disappearing by the time they reach adolescence,
Oh.
but can persist into adulthood.
Uh,
So really, there's no specific treatment. It just kind of absolves itself over time.
hmm. Well, I had hope and then I had despair and then I had hope and then I had despair.
Yeah, so basically, they're not doing any further research on it or looking for any kind of cure because by the time you're an adult, it should be gone. That's what I take from that.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I agree. Not that it matters if I didn't agree.
This next one is called alien hand syndrome.
Alien hand,
Hmm.
when you don't feel what your hand is feeling, or you can't control what your hand is going to do.
Yeah, yeah. There's been a few horror movies about this. So it can occur as a result of brain injuries, strokes, or neurodegenerative disorders. And it's caused by a disconnection between different areas of the brain responsible for voluntary movement, leading to the affected hand seeming to have a will of its own. So one hand decides to do its own thing, like buttoning up a shirt, and the
Yeah.
other hand will just randomly start unbuttoning the shirt.
This sounds like the perfect double-handed hand job chick. Like if she had this, it would be like two strangers doing it. Like, even if you got it for yourself and you're touching yourself, it's gonna feel like the stranger because it has a mind of its
Yeah,
own.
exactly. So in severe cases, the alien hand may be aggressive. And there are
Oh,
reports of people with the condition like spontaneously hitting themselves or slapping themselves or, flailing their hand around.
okay. The hand job is out of the question now.
Yeah. Some reported that their out of control hand tried to choke them.
That might be a brain problem.
And treatment mainly revolves around managing symptoms and finding creative ways to cope with this unexpected third wheeled hand,
Give him a
like
paintbrush and a
wearing a
canvas.
sling or yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Here you go. Here's a pair of scissors for you, hand that I can't control. Yeah, no, no, no. That's the opposite of what we're trying to do here in treatment. Oh, okay, got it, got it.
Yeah, that would be something. But I'm sure there have been horror movies about this where they had a hand transplant and they got the hand of some serial killer and it's trying to kill people. And if there's not, there should be. So next up is Pika. And it's having cravings for non-food items.
Ew.
Yeah, so being compelled to eat things like dirt or chalk or, even rocks or gravel,
Pass.
non-food gravel,
Pass.
non-food kind of items,
I mean,
paper
if
clip.
you can almost spice up anything to taste good, but I don't know
Yeah.
how much salt and pepper and dill you're gonna have to put on some gravel to make it taste good.
Or chalk. Have
Oh,
you ever
no,
eaten chalk?
I can
Like
taste it right now, and I've never tasted it before.
it just instantly dries your mouth out. How do they even swallow it?
That's what she said.
So people who show signs of pica have often have mineral or other deficiencies in their diet.
Do they know the
So like
minerals? Like,
iron, calcium, zinc
okay,
deficiencies.
so it's easily remedied or helped if they can get the breakdown of the minerals that they're
Mm,
missing. How many
yeah, yeah. There's a combination of medication and like counseling and therapy and stuff.
how many fucking spoonfuls of dirt or grass or metal or glass are you going to eat before you go to the doctor and say, I think there might be something wrong? I'm not like the other
Mm.
kids. They're having sandwiches and a juice box, and I'm gnawing on the end of the table. Is that okay? You
Is
would
that
think
normal?
after one time you're like, I think I need to go see a doctor.
Well, I think generally stuff like that comes like you hide it, right? Because you know it's not normal, but you're like compelled to do it because you just have these cravings.
I had a friend that used to eat cat food.
Did they like the taste of the cat food?
I don't know. They always asked for cat food when they came over. So I would always give them like some like the hard crunchy cat food. Not the
Yeah.
stuff out of a tin. But you were saying that pregnancy has a lot of weird cravings.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard of like women craving dirt and stuff like that, non-food items when they're pregnant.
I've only been around one consistently been around one pregnant chick, and it was pickles and peanut butter parfait from Dairy Queen. Not together, just separate cravings, but those were the two things that she would crave daily. Pickles,
Mhm.
peanut butter parfaits. I don't I never eat them. I mean, I'm sure they'd be delicious. Pickles are delicious.
Yeah.
Peanut butter
If
parfaits.
I
I
could
never
eat them every day, sure.
peanut butter parfaits or pickles.
Peanut butter parfaits,
Yeah. What is it? Just hot fudge and peanuts and ice cream?
ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds delicious. Unless it was a fake
Dang.
craving and it was just like, damn, these are good. I'm gonna claim this as a crave
Yeah,
and I'm gonna eat them all the
exactly.
time.
Exactly. So I can eat it every day.
Mm. Fuck, I hope I never
Yeah.
crave weird shit like dirt, rocks, grass, lint, teddy bear stuffing, whatever's around.
Oh, well, if you do, you know what it is. So what do you got?
Hmm.
You got any weird, kind of weird medical conditions
You
or
had a
weird?
bunch there. I had one that sort of like hit me. Like it's like, oh, huh, interesting. We've all heard of narcolepsy, right? Where you just randomly just doze off. So
Mhm.
this takes that and jacks it full of steroids and then inserts it into your body, and it's called Klein-Levin syndrome. So whereas narcolepsy, you just like randomly fall asleep, this one generally strikes adolescents. People who have it experience episodes of extreme sleepiness that could last from days to weeks. During those episodes, sufferers will sleep sometimes 20 hours a day and will wake up only to eat or to go to the bathroom. The length of time between episodes can vary from a couple weeks to several months. In between the periods of excessive sleep, people who have this condition are extremely normal. It's also characterized by bizarre behavior during the episodes. When they wake, they really want to eat a lot, and they're not normal, says Dr. Robert Schomacher, professor of pediatrics at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center. About half of them develop feelings of hypersexuality and display inappropriate sexual language and behavior. Holy shit. Do you think I have Klein-Levin syndrome, but I don't have the sleepy
Like
parts?
in their sleep or when they're awake?
It just says in between the bouts. So when they're
Oh,
awake,
I
in between
see.
the
I
bouts of
see.
sleepiness, this is usually how. Wait, no, they said they're extremely normal when they wake up after being sleepy. They act like this, but then when that
Okay.
goes away, they're completely normal. How fucking weird is that? You wake up as a completely different person than the people around you know you as, and then over
I
like a
wonder
week, you just
why.
start
That's
to be
weird.
normal, and then all of a sudden you're sleeping 20 hours a day.
Maybe it's
So
because you're like you're living in your dreamland for basically the whole entire time. You're only getting up to give yourself sustenance.
Yeah.
So you're living in this dreamland and you're kind of, it's a bit convoluted on what's real and what's not. Maybe you're still kind of dreaming.
They say that it starts to get better in their late 20s. Most cases resolve spontaneously 10 or more years after the first one's onset. There's no known cause, there's no known cure, and sleep specialists say that there aren't any drugs that work particularly well to treat the symptoms. Although they say sometimes patients respond very well to Valium or lithium. The only way to really address the symptoms of the syndrome is to adapt to it. There's usually signs that an episode is coming on, and they tend to be less active and they want to sleep more, and they're kind of confused and in a cloud. So they're completely normal. Oh, they wake up, they're hypersexualized, then they're completely normal for 6-7 weeks, and then they start to get dazed and confused, and then all of a sudden they're sleeping 20 hours a day. And it could go on for a couple of weeks,
It's
and then
almost like
it just
like
repeats.
hibernating or something, hey?
Yeah.
Like they go into hibernation and then they wake up and they want to go and spread their seed and then they're okay for a bit and then oh, it's time to hibernate again.
It's weird. The experts say that they don't think sufferers are in any danger during their sleeping episodes, but they probably shouldn't be alone. They're cognitively impaired and they have an increased appetite and decreased inhibitions. How fucking weird is that?
Now somebody has that with sleepwalking.
And they
So
just
they're just
can't.
sleepwalking all the time.
That would fucking suck ass to live in that household.
Yeah.
But then there's the opposite of the Klein-Levin syndrome. And this one really, really hit me because I think I might have this and I don't know how to get tested for it. So, scientists have recently discovered how gene mutation reduces the need for sleep. Some natural short sleepers may have high levels of a protein that stimulates arousal. It's every overachiever's
Sounds
dream.
like you.
It's every overachiever's dream, a gene mutation that allows them to function normally with just 4 to 6 hours sleep every night instead of the normal 8.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so UC San Francisco neurology professor Ying-Hu Fu, he's a PhD. He discovered that a mutation in the gene DEC2 in a family of natural short sleepers, people who go to bed normal time, 11 p.m., midnight, but they wake up naturally at 5 a.m. These are not people who've trained themselves to wake up early. They're born this way. The new study in mice, which is what they tested it on, reveals how the DEC2 mutation seen in human short sleepers may allow them to survive and thrive on just a few hours of sleep. I'm going to call it the D2 gene because it's just easier than saying DEC2.
Mm-hmm.
So the researchers engineered mice to have the same mutation in the D2 gene seen in the human short sleepers. They discovered that the D2 helps control levels of orexin. It's a hormone involved in maintaining wakefulness. The sleep disorder narcolepsy is caused by too little of this hormone. The mutation of D2 seems to work by partially releasing the brakes in orexin production. It gives you your arousal while you're sleeping, and then it's telling your body you don't need it, and then you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking cool. Yeah, it says it doesn't hurt their alertness, it doesn't hurt their productivity. Their whole body is still functioning and their body's healthy. So their body isn't in need or want of sleeping. And their day-to-day functions aren't at all affected by the lack of sleep. And their bodies usually don't need an alarm clock. That's fucked up because I can survive 4 hours sleep daily for months and months and months and months. I prefer to get 5. And I usually go to bed at 3:30 in the morning and I'm up at 8:15 every day, every single day. That's my life.
I've noticed you can definitely manage on very little sleep.
Yeah, maybe
I can't. I need like 6 or 7. That's about what I get.
but that's normal, right? That's nothing. That's normal. That's exactly what the body's designed for. But
But I
there's
still feel tired, you know. Yeah.
But yeah, there's the DEC2 gene has a mutation that tells your body, no, you're good, bro. Time to get up.
Yeah.
And your productivity.
Get to work, man. Get some shit done.
Yeah, and I want to get tested for it. I don't know how to do gene testing though. I did it for cancer when my whole family was going through a cancer thing. I went and got my genes tested for that. And knock on wood, I don't know if you can change, but I don't have that mutation that causes the
Nice.
cancer.
Yeah.
But it's 50%. So if your mom or dad has it, the kids have a 50% chance of having it. and they just keep passing it down
Mhm.
50%. And that sucks that, I mean, it's good that I don't have it. It just sucks that 50% of my family have it.
It does.
And then
Yeah.
I asked the doctor, I was like, so when we're talking about percentages, what are my chances of getting cancer now that I don't have that gene? And they're like, the same as everybody else. So 50%. I was like, what? He goes,
Yeah.
there's a 50% chance if you had that gene, it would be like 80%. Yeah, that's all it
Yeah.
is. So I mean, you don't get away too much. Not too much. But
Mhm.
the bonus is you don't pass it down to your kids.
Yeah.
Unless their mom has it. Then there's a 50% chance that the kids have it.
So what if the mom and the dad do have it? So then it's like 100% for the kids, or is that not how math
I don't know how
works?
percentages work. I would assume the probability would be higher, but the percentage would stay the same.
Mhm.
Is that's a math? That's a formula, right? Probability? I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I'm not a math person.
No, not really. Wow, that
There
was
you
a
have it.
lot. A lot of just the human body is an amazing thing. I say be grateful every day that, because like the littlest thing can go wrong and you have a medical condition.
Yeah. Take care of yourself and notice any little thing. If you notice that your body isn't functioning the way it normally does, or you can't hear something, or you can't see something, you can't feel something, or your steering wheel is getting bigger or smaller on a daily basis, you might have a condition. Go get that checked out.
Go talk to your doctor. Don't ask us about it. We're
Yeah, I
not
mean,
doctors.
no, we are
Believe it or
answers.
not.
We are answers for everything, but our answer is go see a doctor,
Yes.
which is the best advice we can
Yeah,
give.
take care of yourselves.
All right. Thanks for listening, Nodals.
Thanks.
Peace out.
No reaction. That's the best. No react. Don't react.
But then I get told I don't have feelings. I mean, come on,
Oh yeah,
me?
but she knows that.
Me not have
She knows
feelings? Get
that.
real. All I do is feel. Emotion? Come on. I'm full of emotion. No, probably not.
Full of something.
I might get there. Yeah, I might get
I
there.
don't.
Yeah, it depends what's easier. So
I'd
so
say no emotion.
so far
No
it's pretty
emotion's
good.
easier.
My life's not that bad when I don't feel.
But isn't that part of the experience and the reason why we're here
I have no
is
idea.
to feel?
I thought we were here so we can make the big machine work. So we could be little drones working and paying taxes and not owning too much and just being thankful for what we have and worrying about everything being taken away.
Well, I mean, that's our existence while we're here. That's probably not the original intent of us being here. That's just something that we created.
We need to get rid of the overlords and become the overlords.
Would you want to be an overlord and like run everything?
I think I would because I think I'm a good boss and it's not about me. It's about the team. Like it legit is about giving them the schedule that makes them happy or giving them the schedule that makes them happy, plus also helps me out when I need it. Rewarding them for a job well done, punching them for a job that they were told not to do that way and they did it anyway. But I think I would be good at it. And I'm good at letting people do my job when I'm not there. Like I can let it go. That's not a problem. Back when I was really, really, really busy, I had no problem taking 2 weeks off here, 2 weeks off there, 2 weeks off, and just letting them run the show.
Oh, I'm on the wrong connection. Hello?
What's up?
Okay. I don't know. There's kind of a storm passing over us,
Hmm.
so I just froze right up.
Oh, what did you get?
What did you say last? I can't even remember.
What the fuck?
Mhm.
Can you imagine if McDonald's went all in just advertising the Filet-O-Fish? That's all they advertised.
Yeah.
Whoever is up in marketing would be
Or
like,
like their Beyond Meat burger or
yeah,
something.
whoever concocted that idea would get fired. Like that's your idea for the fourth quarter? Go find a new job. Like you don't know how this works. People don't come here for that. right?
Yeah.
People come here for nuggets, fries, and Big Macs. That's what we're going to advertise.
Wait, hold on a sec. I just lost something. There, sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, vegans don't eat cheese, so it makes sense.
No, that's right.
See, you got to cater to your minorities. That's how it works. Because, and I've been
Yeah.
told many times, they are the loudest people on the internet, so we have to listen to them, or they just continue to be loud. Yeah, but listening to them
Well,
still
that's
makes
why
them
they're
loud.
loud.
They're not
Yeah.
stopping being loud if you listen to
You're
them.
validating their loudness.
Yeah,
You're
fucking
validating everything. And then they think they can just continue doing it,
yeah.
giving them power.
Do you hate that?
Do I hate what?
Validating them and giving them power when you know they don't earn it or deserve it. You don't do a lot of social media watching.
I don't know. No, not really.
There's a
It's
podcast
it's
with
like socializing and it's like socializing in person. I don't particularly like to go into a large group of people and just listen to all their stuff. So I'm not super, it's the same on social media. It's just a bigger pool of people.